With 10 rounds to go in the Formula 1 season, the championship fights are set to heat up. The Drivers' Championship is slipping further and further away from Max Verstappen, who is now at the whims of his team as to whether or not he can retain the title and claim his 4th championship. And the Constructors' Championship, unless Checo can re-emerge as the second coming of Fangio himself following the summer break, appears to be all but lost by Red Bull already. There are two things that can potentially save Red Bull in both championships, the less likely one being Red Bull rediscovering their early season dominance, something far less likely given McLaren is yet to bring their second major upgrade of the season, and the other one is drivers taking points off of each other, as if no one driver comes out as the overwhelming favourite to catch Verstappen, then the Dutchman could be gifted yet another title to add to his trophy cabinet. This brings us to McLaren, where sparks could be set to fly, and as much as the drivers are keeping their cool for the moment, let's just see how long that lasts when there is a championship on the line. Want to know why McLaren's ambition may cause their downfall? They're set to contend across both championships in the remainder of this season, but it could be themselves that stops them from getting either. And stick around, because I think we're forgetting just how good a certain driver is. Before we get into this, I think a bit of context is needed. Lando Norris currently sits 30 points ahead of his teammate and 78 points behind Verstappen. If momentum continues, McLaren will claim the Constructors' Championship and should be challenging for race wins for the rest of the season. However, it may well be that the only people that Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are fighting by the end of the year is each other, with McLaren still yet to bring their second upgrade package of the season. Now, the key thing to recognize is that if any inter-team conflict does come up, it will have been entirely legitimized by Norris's actions earlier this season. I'm not necessarily talking about the mistakes at the start of races or letting slip possible race wins to add to his Miami win, but more so his reactions to these situations. While yes, being open and critical on one's own mistakes can often be a good sign in terms of a driver staying grounded and looking to improve, but it may have also opened up a door to doubts about the hierarchy in the team. Rather than asserting himself as top dog this season, Norris has come across in a way that may make Piastri feel like he has a chance in terms of gaining leverage on his teammate. It's not just us thinking this as well, as ex-F1 winner Johnny Herbert gave his insight on Norris's mentality and how it may well be capitalized on by his rivals. It is the mental side which is very tough. After Hungary, Lando probably felt it was not the right call. Then at Spa, he went into the gravel in a poor start. He's had 2 races when it has gone against him, while Oscar Piastri, his teammate, has won a race and been on the podium. Lando is very honest, but in my opinion, it is something he should have kept to himself and not shared with the world. I would have tried to correct the errors, but I wouldn't tell the world what I was feeling, because that is something that other drivers will try to use to their advantage. He is under pressure, but as a Grand Prix winner, now he should be able to cope. It's perhaps indicative of Norris not yet being ready to challenge for a title that many people see the remaining races as a battle for the Constructors, rather than the Drivers' Championship as well. Drivers, pundits and fans have been saying that Norris won't do enough to take the Drivers' Championship off of Verstappen, however they're failing to notice one thing. Yes, Norris is the closest man to Verstappen right now, but with Ferrari and Mercedes improving race by race, there may well be more occasions where Verstappen can only push for a 5th place finish, much like the last few races. Sitting just behind Norris and Leclerc is Piastri, a driver who earlier this season had a terrible run of luck, leaving him sat behind Perez, Hamilton, Sainz and Russell. Piastri has absolutely rifled up the standings, finishing consistently in the top 4 and even gaining his first F1 win at Hungary, which I'm sure won't start any arguments in the comments at all, and seeming to get stronger with every race, mastering the tyre management that he highlighted as being his main shortfall earlier this season. With 3 sprint events still to come, as well as the 10 races, there's still an awful lot of points on the table, and if McLaren nail their second upgrade package of the season like they've done for all of their upgrades for the past year and a half, then the 30 points that split Norris and Piastri could come plummeting down across a single weekend. The team has had a pretty feel-good season and a half, with the resounding success of Andrea Stella, Piastri's rapid improvement and Norris's ascent to the top step after such a long wait. McLaren, despite a few questions coming up surrounding how prepared prepared they are to make the tough decisions and how much conviction they will execute race strategies with, are certainly the strongest team in the sport as it stands. With Red Bull falling behind due to the early season disruption and the failure to upgrade, Mercedes on the rise but not quite hitting their peak yet, and Ferrari being an absolute circus as per usual. So it's a healthy dynamic with two strong drivers, and according to Piastri, for as long as Red Bull is still ahead, there is no sense in fighting amongst themselves, with the Aussie saying, "I think we just have a very healthy culture in the team. I'm not naive. I know that when you fight for wins and championships as a driver, then you want to do everything you can if possible. It would be naive of us and immature of us to really start focusing all our attention on each other because we've still got a lot of competition out there." Which brings us to the question, if McLaren continue on their current trajectory and challenge from race 1 next season, will the team be able to handle it, and which driver will come out on top? Well, I think the issue of who is quickest on their day and has demonstrated better individual bursts of brilliance still stands at Norris's feet. Qualifying form alone, where Norris is currently leading 11-3 against Piastri this season, shows he still holds dominion over one lap, as well as the average race result over the season. However, Piastri has been closing the gap in recent races and is only in his second full-time season in Formula 1. Piastri's improvement has been rapid and in a way serves as a symbol of McLaren's rapid rise since Andrea Stella's arrival at the team, going from a plucky upstart to a serious threat at the front of the field. If you want the answer to the question we asked before regarding who will come out on top, I think the difference across a whole season, rather than just one race where Norris holds the advantage, will be down to the mentality of the drivers. We've already discussed the fact that Norris's sad boy antics are already becoming a concern to people in regards to his mentality. In comparison, Piastri has insisted that he will be underestimated at his competition's peril, with him saying his cool, calm demeanor is a cover for the quiet killer instinct underneath, with the Aussie having this to say to Sky Sports. "Just because I'm calm doesn't mean I'm not ruthless. There's been a lot of tough situations through my career where you need to get your elbows out. I think I said last year, I don't want to be seen as a pest on the track, but you have to earn your respect. I feel like that's something I've done and tried to race people hard but fair. I definitely think I'm ruthless enough, but it doesn't have to come at the expense of being calm and a nice person as well." And those of us that watched his meteoric rise through Formula Renault through F3 to F2 will certainly believe that this is the truth. You don't just become the only person in history to win those titles in successive seasons without having a ruthless streak, and his calmness belies a confidence that he will do the same in the creme de la creme of single-seater championships. Maybe it's because he was forced by Alpine to sit on the sidelines for a year that caused people to forget just who we're talking about here. Norris is good. Hell, he can be great if he tidies up a few elements of his racecraft, but Oscar Piastri has always had the capability to be generational. The hype surrounding Kimi Antonelli is starting to seem deserved by the young Italian, but some of it comes from his ascent directly to Mercedes, as well as the very loud and public backing of Toto Wolff. Oscar Piastri's hype came from doing what no man had done before, crushing his peers and doing it while looking like he had just gone on a Sunday drive around Melbourne. But what do you think? Do you think that sparks are set to fly between the McLaren teammates this season, or is it something we're more likely to see next year? Either way, a cool-headed and calculated driver and a passionate and emotional driver fighting each other at McLaren sounds awfully familiar to a duo we saw in the late 80s. And that fight was the stuff of legends.